Look around the room you're sitting in right now. Every single object you can see is costing you money, right now at this exact moment. Even if you paid for it years ago. That treadmill in the corner. The kitchen gadget still in its box. The jacket you haven't worn in 18 months. They are not neutral. They are not just things you own. They are active financial drains, quietly pulling from your attention, your space, your peace of mind, and your future wealth. Every single day. My name is MM, and welcome to Wealth with MM, where we go deeper than the spreadsheets and into the psychology that actually determines your financial future. Today we are talking about something that almost no financial channel ever addresses directly: the real cost of owning things. Not the price tag, not the receipt. The total, lifetime, hidden cost of every object that enters your life and never leaves. And here is the question that is going to follow you for the rest of this video. Are you the owner of your possessions, or are your possessions the owner of you? There is a way to find out, and the answer will tell you more about your financial future than your salary ever could. Everything you own costs you twice. The first cost is obvious. It is the number on the price tag, the money you handed over at the register. Most people think that is where the transaction ends. It is not. It is where it begins. The second cost is what almost nobody calculates, and it is often larger than the first. It includes storage, maintenance, insurance, mental energy, and what economists call opportunity cost. The wealth you could have built with that money if you had never spent it at all. Take that treadmill. It seemed like a reasonable investment in your health. You paid for it once, but it now occupies roughly 2 square meters of your living space. In most cities, that space has a real cost, calculated as a portion of your monthly rent or mortgage. It amounts to hundreds of dollars per year in implicit rent, just to store a machine that is currently holding your laundry. And here is something research confirms, but most people never feel consciously. Visual clutter raises cortisol levels and reduces the brain's ability to focus. Your possessions are not just taking up physical space. They are taking up psychological space, demanding a small but constant slice of your attention just by existing in your field of vision. Your things are not just costing you money. They are costing you clarity. The first rule that quietly wealthy people follow is called cost per use. And once you start applying it, almost every impulse purchase becomes impossible to justify. Before buying anything, ask one simple question: how many times will I realistically use this? Divide the total price by that number. That is the real cost of ownership. A jacket that costs $200 but gets worn twice costs $100 per wear. An expensive jacket worn 200 times over 10 years costs $1 per wear. The cheaper jacket is mathematically the more expensive one. A kitchen gadget that costs $300 and gets used twice a year costs $150 per use in year 1. Meanwhile, a high-quality mattress slept on every single night for 10 years costs less than $1 per night and directly affects your health, your energy, and your productivity every single day. The math does not care about the marketing. It only cares about reality. And the reality for most of us is a home full of high-cost-per-use purchases, sitting quietly alongside a handful of genuinely valuable ones. And almost nobody has ever stopped to calculate which is which. The second rule is called the replacement test, and it is more revealing than most people expect. Walk through your home, mentally right now, and ask one honest question about each object you see. If this disappeared today, would I spend money to replace it? The bread maker collecting dust on the kitchen counter. The clothes at the back of the closet with the tag still attached. The books you finished 3 years ago and will never open again. Would you replace them? For most people, for most objects, the honest answer is no. And that means those objects have negative value in your life, not zero value. negative. They are consuming space, attention, and maintenance energy without returning anything. The psychological weight of owning things you neither use nor want is real, measurable, and cumulative. Every object that fails the replacement test is a small drain on the finite supply of mental energy you have available each day. The people who understand this do not just declutter for aesthetic reasons. They declutter because they understand that owning less is a financial strategy. Here's a pattern that quietly destroys more wealth than almost any other single behavior: upgrading things that still work simply because a newer version exists. The television works perfectly, but the new model has slightly better contrast. The phone makes calls, sends messages, runs every app without issue. But the new release has a marginally improved camera. The car runs reliably and safely. But the neighbor just bought this year's model. Each of these upgrades feels like progress. Each of them is actually wealth destruction, wearing the disguise of progress. The average person replaces their phone every 2 to 3 years, often while the previous one still functions without issue. Apply that same pattern across electronics, appliances, furniture, and vehicles over a lifetime, and the cumulative cost of what researchers call lifestyle inflation, through boredom, easily exceeds $200,000. $200,000. Not spent on experiences, not invested, not used to build financial independence. Spent on replacing things that did not need replacing. Quietly wealthy people define broken with unusual strictness. An item is replaced when it genuinely cannot perform its function anymore. Boredom is not a reason. A neighbor's upgrade is not a reason. A newer model existing is not a reason. Those are marketing pressures wearing the costume of rational decision-making. Now let's talk about what wealth actually is, because most of us have been measuring it wrong. The conventional definition measures wealth by what you have: the house, the car, the watch, the visible markers of a life that has made it. Quietly wealthy people measure it differently. They measure it by what they can choose. Can you leave a job that is destroying your mental health without financial panic? Can you take 6 months away from work to handle a family crisis without losing everything? Can you say no to a high-paying opportunity that conflicts with your values and survive comfortably? These options are not available to everyone. They are only available to people who have built real margin between what they earn and what they spend, and who have protected that margin from the slow, invisible erosion of lifestyle inflation. Someone earning $200,000 but spending $195,000 has almost no options. They are chained to their income, regardless of how large that number looks. Someone earning $50,000 but spending $25,000 has something far more valuable than a high salary. They have freedom. They have time. They have the ability to choose. And here is the counterintuitive truth at the heart of all of this. As your financial strength grows, your need to prove it through possessions quietly disappears. When your bank account is already telling you the story you want to hear, you stop needing the expensive watch to tell it for you. The things you own stop feeling like status. They start feeling like noise. So here is where we land. Every object in your home has a price tag you paid once, and a hidden cost you keep paying forever. The treadmill, the jacket, the gadget, the upgrade you made because you were bored, not because you needed it. The question is not whether you can afford to own these things. The question is what they are costing you in space, in clarity, in opportunity, and in the future wealth you could have built with the money and energy they consumed. Wealth is not a collection of objects. It is a collection of options. And options are built quietly, slowly, and almost invisibly by the gap between what you earn and what you let leave your hands. If this video made you look at something in your home differently, hit like and drop a comment. What is one thing you own that you know you would never replace if it disappeared tomorrow? Be honest, The answer might surprise you. And make sure you are subscribed to Wealth with MM, because what we cover next goes even deeper into the psychology of spending, owning, and the hidden reasons most people can never seem to hold on to what they earn.